I didn't just quit. I walked out of that building with 7 of the most talented engineers in the company right behind me. And our manager stood at the glass door watching us leave, one by one, unable to say a single word. By the following Monday, his entire team was gone. His projects were frozen, and the company he had terrorized us inside of for 2 years was suddenly asking how this had happened. The answer was simple. When you treat people like they are replaceable long enough, eventually they prove you right, just not in the way you expected. I joined Helix Software Solutions in 2020 as a lead back-end engineer. San Francisco, Series B startup. Fast product cycles, strong engineering culture, at least on paper. The reality depended entirely on who your manager was. Mine was a man I'll call Victor Crane, 38 years old, former engineer turned manager, the kind of person who had just enough technical knowledge to micromanage and just enough insecurity to make it personal. From the very first week, Victor made one thing clear. He was the smartest person in every room, and if you forgot that, he would remind you, loudly, in front of whoever happened to be present. The humiliation was daily and deliberate. In stand-ups, he would interrupt engineers mid-sentence to correct them on things that didn't need correcting. In code reviews, he would leave comments that were less about the code and more about the person who wrote it. He set targets that shifted every time we came close to hitting them. A sprint would end successfully and he would move the benchmark, without acknowledgement, without explanation, as if the goalpost had always been there. When something went wrong, and in software, things always go wrong, Victor never absorbed any of it. Every bug, every delay, every client complaint landed directly on the team. His name was never attached to a failure, only to a success. He had favorites, 2 engineers who laughed at his jokes and never pushed back. They got the good projects, the public praise, the flexible schedules. The rest of us got the legacy code, the impossible deadlines, and the Monday morning post-mortems where Victor explained, in great detail, exactly how we had disappointed him. I watched 3 good engineers leave in the first year. Each one gave a vague reason in their exit interview. Each one told the truth in the parking lot afterward. Victor had broken something in them that they didn't want to name officially. By the end of 2021, I had started having a recurring thought. Not about quitting, but about what quitting would actually look like if it were done properly, not in anger, not in defeat, as a coordinated, deliberate act. I started paying attention differently, not to Victor, but to my teammates, who was exhausted, who was angry, who had stopped caring about the work because the environment made caring feel pointless. The answer was, almost everyone. 7 engineers on a 9-person team, all carrying the same weight, all suffering through the same daily reality, all staying for the same reason. They needed the paycheck and didn't yet believe there was a better option. My job, I decided, was to show them the option existed. I had been approached 6 months earlier by a recruiter from Cornerstone Technologies, Helix's most direct competitor in the enterprise infrastructure space. At the time, I had declined. Now I called her back. The conversation lasted 40 minutes. I was honest about everything, why I was leaving, what the team's situation was, what we were collectively capable of. She went quiet for a moment. Then she said, "How many of you are we talking about?" I said, "Potentially 7, all senior level, all currently underutilized and underpaid." She said she would call me back within 48 hours. She called back in 6. Cornerstone's CTO got on a call with me the following week. He had reviewed the public work our team had contributed to, open source commits, technical conference talks, published case studies. He knew exactly what he was looking at. He made a group offer, structured individually but communicated collectively. Each engineer would receive a personalized package. Average salary increase across the team was 41%, full remote. No micromanagement. He said that word specifically and looked directly at the camera when he said it. I spoke to each teammate privately, one conversation at a time. No pressure, no group chat, no paper trail that could be used against anyone. Just honest conversations between people who trusted each other. Every single one of them said yes. Some immediately, some after a night of thinking. One called me back at 11 p.m. and said, "I'd been waiting for someone to open this door for 8 months. I told him it had been open the whole time." We coordinated our resignation dates. All on the same day. 2 weeks notice each. Professional, clean, no drama. I went first. At 9 a.m. on a Tuesday in March 2022, I walked into Victor's office and placed my resignation letter on his desk. He read it without expression. Then he looked up and said, "This is a mistake. You won't find another team like this one." I told him he was right. I wouldn't, and I left his office. Over the next 4 hours, 6 more resignation letters landed on his desk, one after another. Each one placed calmly, each engineer walking out of his office with the same expression, relief, so pure it was almost visible. By 2 p.m., Victor had lost 7 of his 9 engineers in a single morning. The 2 who remained were his favorites, neither of whom had the technical depth to carry the projects the rest of us had been running. The Slack messages started coming in from other teams within the hour, people asking if it was true, people saying they wished they had done the same thing. One message, from an engineer on a different team, simply said, "You did what all of us wanted to do. Thank you." Helix's CTO called me personally that afternoon. He asked if there was anything that could have prevented this. I told him honestly, yes. Addressing what the engineering team had been reporting about Victor Crane for 18 months, he went quiet. Then he said he appreciated my candor. I wished him well and ended the call. At Corstone, we hit the ground running. No adjustment period. No learning curve on culture. We already knew how to work together. We had been doing it for 2 years under conditions designed to slow us down. Remove those conditions, and the output was immediate. Within 90 days, our team had shipped 2 major features that Corstone's previous engineering org had been trying to deliver for over a year. The CTO sent a company-wide message acknowledging the team by name. Every name. All 7 of us. I heard through the industry network what happened at Helix after we left. The projects we had been running stalled within weeks. 2 enterprise clients raised concerns about delivery timelines. The company brought in contractors, expensive, unfamiliar with the code base, unable to move at the speed the clients expected. Victor Crane was quietly moved to an individual contributor role 6 months after we left. No team, no direct reports, no more stand-ups where he could remind engineers how they had disappointed him. Just code, which, it turned out, he was considerably less comfortable with than he had always implied. I think about that Tuesday morning sometimes, 9 a.m. 7 resignation letters, a manager standing at a glass door watching the team he had broken walk out whole. Here is what I learned. A toxic manager doesn't just damage the people under them, they damage the company. Every talented person who leaves takes institutional knowledge, client relationships, and momentum that cannot be replaced by a job posting. Victor Crane spent 2 years making us feel like we were lucky to have jobs. What he didn't understand was that the jobs were lucky to have us, and the moment we believed that, truly believed it, the outcome was inevitable. If you are sitting somewhere right now under a manager who makes you feel small every single day, I want you to hear this. Your skills are portable. Your relationships are portable. Your reputation is portable. The only thing keeping you in that room is the belief that you cannot leave it. And that belief is the most expensive lie you will ever tell yourself. So here is the question I want to leave you with. How many people on your team right now are having the same private thought, that they would leave tomorrow if someone just showed them the door? Because sometimes all it takes is one person to open it.